Today, I'm reviewing Sorcery, the fifth book in the in publication order of the Discworld series, and I think it's the third in the Rincewind storyline. In the previous Discworld books, especially in the first two, Call of Magic and the Light Fantastic, we are told that wizards aren't allowed to have children, but we're never told why. So this volume answers that question. So the basic storyline or the plot is a wizard, Ipsla the Red, is the eighth son of an eighth son, and in the disc world, this is how wizards come about. And we see that with Esk from Equal Rights. That's the third book, yeah. Anyways, Ipslaw is expelled from the Unseen University, which is the university where all the wizards hang out, because he's expelled because he wants to follow his chemical urges and procreate. Ipslaw then goes far away to a faraway land, and he decides to have eight sons himself, knowing that the eighth son, if he has eight sons, that eighth son is going to be a sorcerer because he is an eighth son of an eighth son. And a sorcerer is going to be more powerful than all wizards. He's sort of going to be like a wizard squared, according to the book. And as a matter of fact, sorcerers haven't been found on the Discworld for many generations, and it appears that he intends to use this child, the sorcerer, to get back at the university that expelled him. Um, Obviously, the university didn't think too much about the consequences of expelling a wizard, because you would think that they would know that a wizard is going to go and procreate and create a sorcerer that is going to attack them in the future. But anyways, the university didn't think too much about the consequences. So when the sorcerer shows up at the university later on and kills the arch chancellor, all hell breaks loose. Um, so yeah, that's the basic plot. The characters. This volume is a continuation of the Rincewind storyline. So some of our favorites return, like Rincewind, the ape librarian, and the luggage. Um, New characters are also introduced. We meet Nigel the Barbarian, who I would describe as Rincewind, but a lot more naive and a lot more brave, even though a lot of his bravery comes from naivety. Um, there's also Conina the hairdresser, who is an amazing thief and badass fighter, but her real motivation is to become a hairdresser. Turns out she's the daughter of Cohen the Barbarian from the first two books. We also meet Coin, who is the sorcerer. That's the son of Ipslaw, who was banished. Um, I think the character work in this book stays very consistent with the other books, which is to say that they were very good, and every one of them seemed to have some sort of motivation. And I don't think I came across anyone that I'd consider to be flat or filler. Um, I do wish though that we got more from the coin character, but this being a short and concise book about events that take place over a short period of time, I understand why. A lot about him is kept as a mystery to add suspense to the book, but I do like him as a character, so I hope we see more from him. Um, but I would say that if you love Rincewind, this is the book for you. I think his character arc develops a lot further in this book, and it helps that we knew a lot about him before going in. So we see Rincewind here care about a lot of stuff in the book, and not just run away from everything as we've come to expect from him. One of the standout things about the Terry Pratchett books I've read so far is the humor. And while this one has lots of funny pieces here and there, I still think it lacked a bit. I didn't find myself chuckling as much as I've come to expect reading Terry Pratchett books. So I think that part was a bit of a letdown for me. because I go into these books expecting to laugh a lot. I don't know if that's a reasonable expectation at this point. Maybe I'm putting too much on the books, but I'm going from my experience reading the other books. Um, Also, I've come to expect to have Terry Pratchett run some sort of commentary on our real world themes using this world that he's created. And I think here I didn't get that as much compared to the other book. I mean, there was still satire in this book, but I think compared to the other ones, the ones here were not explored as much. Um, I think one of the main themes behind this book is the fight to be who we are and not what others want us to be. We can see this as Coin struggles under the weight of his father, who is just using him to get back at the university. So there's sort of a struggle between what Coin himself wants and what his father wants him to do. There's also the theme of power and the consequences. So here, the university banishes Ip's law. So they want to force people to do something a certain way. So they banished Ip's law from for wanting to procreate, and that later bites them in the ass. So, like I said, power and the consequences of using power a certain way. Aside that, I didn't find much in the way of satire within this. I guess you could say it tackles the theme of revenge, but in my opinion, I don't think that was explored as much. But yeah, the plot of the book still, I think it's one of the best I've read in the Discworld so far. Especially how it switches between different point of views and still manages to round up very tightly in the end. I think Terry Pratchett did excellent work there. I think in terms of the plot, this is one of the best um, books in terms of how tightly everything rounds up and how everything flows. Um, I rated the book 3/5. I liked it, but I wouldn't put it as one of my favorite Discworld books. Um, that's not saying that you should skip it, but I still think it's a solid entry. Um, and I also think that it could potentially be an important book in the series moving forward. But, I've read better, is I guess is all I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I'll end it here. I'm currently reading The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It won the Goodreads fiction category last year. So I'm excited. I'm loving it so far. So I'm excited to drop the review for that. I should be dropping it as soon as I'm done, which is soon. So yeah, till next time.